You know, in this crazy economic world, everyone's looking for the next big thing to grow their retirement savings. But what if the answer isn't something new and complicated? What if it's about understanding the incredible power of something we see every day? Today, we're diving into a really compelling argument for a new formula for wealth, and it's all built around the good old US dollar.
Right off the bat, the argument we're looking at makes a huge promise. I mean, look at this. You can beat all inflation and become rich. Now, that's a bold claim, right? This isn't just about getting by, it's about actually thriving. So let's break down the strategy that they say makes this possible.
So, what's the big secret? Well, it all boils down to something surprisingly simple. You have to own US dollars. Period. The whole idea is that holding any other currency is, frankly, a risk to your hard-earned money. From this perspective, the dollar isn't just another choice, it's the one essential piece of the puzzle for your financial future. Okay, I know what you're probably thinking. We hear all the time that the dollar is in trouble, that its best days are behind it. But this line of thinking just flips that whole story upside down. It asks a really important question. Why isn't the dollar's power shrinking? In fact, why does it seem to be growing? Well, the answer apparently lies in some powerful new forces that are completely changing the game.
All right, so the first piece of this puzzle, the first pillar of this growing empire, is a pretty new idea. They call it the techno-dollar, and it's being presented as the brand new heart of the dollar's power across the globe.
So what on earth is a techno-dollar? Well, think of it this way. It's a system where these giant global tech platforms we all use every day are basically supercharging the dollar. Every time you buy an app, stream a movie, or shop online, billions of these little transactions are happening all over the world. And where does all that money end up? You guessed it, it ultimately gets settled in US dollars. And who is running this incredible engine? According to this source, it's these 7 companies, the so-called M7. We're talking Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, and Tesla. These are the companies that built the digital roads and bridges, the global platforms, that the entire techno-dollar system is built on. And here's how it works. And it's just a brilliant, simple flow. Okay, step 1. Someone in, say, Japan or Germany buys something on one of these platforms using their local currency. Step 2. The platform handles billions of these transactions from every corner of the globe. But here's the magic. Step 3. The final settlement, the real value, it all gets converted back into US dollars. It's like a giant, constant vacuum cleaner sucking demand for dollars out of the global economy. But here's the thing. This new high-tech system, it's not just floating out there on its own. It's actually built on top of the dollar's old-school foundation, a foundation that, according to this argument, is still as solid as a rock. And that, of course, is the petrodollar. This is the classic, the OG source of the dollar's strength. It's the system that's been around for decades where if you want to buy or sell oil on the world market, you've got to use US dollars. That simple fact has created a massive, unending global demand for dollars for more than 50 years. So, why is this system still going so strong? Well, the argument is that the US works hard to keep it that way. How? Through its own energy dominance, like with shale gas, and by using its influence over major oil resources around the world. It all works to make sure that oil keeps getting priced in dollars. So this is the really crucial part. These two systems, they're not competing. Think of it like a 1-2 punch. You've got the petrodollar, built on oil and energy, giving it that classic, stable foundation. And then you've got the technodollar, built on tech and data, giving it all this new, exciting growth. Together, they create this incredibly powerful base for the dollar empire. But wait, there's more. The story doesn't stop there. This argument then looks ahead, and it claims the dollar isn't just playing defense. Oh no, it's actively going on offense to conquer the next great frontier in finance, the digital world. And what's the weapon of choice for this new conquest? It's something called dollar stablecoins. The whole idea here is that these digital tokens are basically pushing the dollar's territory right into the heart of the crypto world, allowing it to dominate yet another financial universe. And the game plan for this digital takeover seems to have 3 parts. First, you get these stablecoins that act as a reliable digital copy of the good old dollar. Second, they're becoming the main currency people use to buy and sell in the crypto markets. And this is the real kicker, they're starting to become the safe, stable asset in that crazy volatile crypto world. A role that a lot of people thought Bitcoin would play. Okay, let's recap. We've got the old power of the petrodollar, we've got the new power of the technodollar, and we've got the future power of the digital dollar. With all these massive forces working together, There has to be an investment takeaway, right? So what does this all mean for you and your retirement portfolio? This is it. This is the actionable part. It's all presented as a pretty simple formula for building wealth right now. You bet on the dollar, and you bet on the M7 companies that are its engine.
When you put it all together, the logic points to one pretty powerful conclusion. Because of these three pillars, the petro, the techno, and the digital, the argument is that pretty much every other currency on the planet is set up to lose value against the US dollar over time. It's almost inevitable. And that leads to a very clear two-part strategy for protecting and growing your nest egg. First, you hold the US dollar itself as a core asset in your portfolio, and second, you invest in the engine room, the techno dollar, by owning what are called M7 ETFs. That's just an easy way to buy a slice of all 7 of those monster tech companies at once. You're basically owning a piece of the system itself.
Wow. So the argument we just walked through is definitely powerful. It's logical, and it offers a really clear path forward. But it does leave us with one last big question that we have to think about for the future of the global economy. With so much power concentrated in one place, can the dollar's dominance really last forever? And that's a question worth chewing on as you plan for your own future.